And welcome back. And here's your latest housing market update for Sacramento, California, as well as Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm going to share what's happening right now regarding home prices, housing inventory, price reductions, and of course, much more. Also add chapters below. So if you guys are only interested in Las Vegas, for example, then you guys can go ahead and fast forward ahead. But let's first talk about what's happening right now in Sacramento, California, according to Redfin's data center here. So new listings are down by 43%. So there's approximately 43% fewer new listings that hit the market for the 4 weeks ended February 26 compared to the same time frame in 2022. Which, by the way, this blue line right here is 2023. Red line is 2020. The black line is 2022. And the orange line is 2021. So the level for new listings in Sacramento is, of course, below 2022, but also below 2020 and 2021. And of course, like I mentioned in previous videos, this is likely due to the fact that a lot of people who have rates at 3%, 4%, or even below 3% are unlikely to sell or are unlikely to have a high motivation to sell and give up their historically low rate. That's why on a national level, new listings are down as well. So new listings down by 43%. Let's have a look at housing inventory according to Redfin in Sacramento. So housing inventory is still up by 18% compared to the same time frame in 2022. Look at this though, been going more or less straight down every single week this year, which is very much unlike 2020, for example. It's more normal to see a decrease of inventory in the winter months and then start to have this uptick, especially in February and March each year. But this year, entirely different. Active listings or housing supply, the number of houses for sale in Sacramento has been decreasing more or less every week this year. So this, of course, means there's approximately 18% more houses for sale in Sacramento, California, compared to 2022. This is obviously much different compared to the summer months and also the fall months last year, when back in more or less, let's just call it August, active listings were up by 43%. Now they're up by only 18%. This is likely due to this decrease of new listings. As you can see right here, down by 43%. Let's also have a look at the number of new pending home sales. This is when a home seller accepts an offer from a home buyer. These are new pending home sales or listing updates. So that is down by 32%. So approximately 482 new pending home sales occurred for the 4 weeks ended February 26, which is obviously much lower than 2022 this time, when there's 708, and obviously below 2021 and 2020 as well. So that's new contracts being signed. Let's have a look at closed home sales, a lagging indicator though. So closed home sales are down by 34% from 2022. The level of closed home sales is actually below levels in 2020 through 2022. Let's also talk about the share of price drops according to altosresearch.com, because according to them for Sacramento, the share was about 35%, which is interesting because this is much higher compared to previous years, of course, especially compared to the past couple of years. But at 35%, this has been decreasing ever since the end of December last year. And at 35%, this is the lowest levels going back to approximately right there, mid-June last year. But having said that, at 35% right now, more or less, 35%, this is much higher compared to 2022, when the share was only 14%. So back then, 14 of every 100 houses reduced their asking prices, whereas this year, approximately 35 of every 100 houses for sale have already reduced their asking prices. 35% right now compared to approximately 14% last year. 2 years ago, the share was 18%. Back in 2020, more or less right before the onset of COVID, the share was about 22%. Back in 2019, the share was 31%, And back in mid-March 2018, the share was about 30%. So right now at approximately a 35% share of price reductions, this is at least a 5-year high during that same time frame right now. All right, let's also talk about home sold prices in Sacramento, which is right here. So home sold prices, or I should say the median sold price in Sacramento, is at $529,000, and that's an 8% decrease compared to the same time frame last year. Last year, the median sold price was approximately $573,000, and that was a 17% increase compared to 2021. I mean, what a difference 1 year makes. We went from a 17% year-over-year increase, now it's down to 8% compared to 1 year ago. Also, when we compared the median sold price in Sacramento, California right now, compared to the highs set in more or less May last year at $614,000, this means the median sold price in Sacramento has decreased by about 14% compared to last year's highs. And also, to give you guys some context regarding this, is that when looking at home sold prices on a national level, home prices are down by about 12%. Whereas in Sacramento, they're down by 14%. Let's also talk about how fast or how slow houses are selling in the Sacramento housing market. So days in the market is about 46 days right now, but look at that, that's crazy. So 46 days is the median days in the market, but compared to 12 months ago, that's an increase of 37 days. 1 year ago at this time, days in the market was approximately 9 days. Now it has surged to about 46 days. What this means, of course, is that's taking more than 1 month longer to sell a house compared to 12 months ago. Days in the market at 46 days right now, an increase of 37 days compared to last year. It's also worth noting here that this is much higher compared to pre-COVID levels as well, because back in 2020, days in the market was only 26 days. I also want to discuss with you guys the average sale price to final list price ratio in the Sacramento real estate market. Because for the 4 weeks ended February 26, houses on average sold for 2% below the seller's final list price. Going back to 2020 this time, days in the market was just over 99%, meaning houses selling for about 1% below asking. Now they're selling for about 2% below. Also, back in 2022 this time, houses on average were selling for nearly 3% over the seller's final list price. Now again, they're selling for about 2% below. Okay, that was the Sacramento housing market. Let's have a look at the Las Vegas, Nevada housing market. So new listings in Las Vegas are down 36.4%, levels below 2020 through 2022. So just like Sacramento and also on national level, we're seeing decreases of new listings here. Let's also have a look at housing inventory in Las Vegas, which is right here. So housing inventory is below levels compared to 2020, but still up by 59% from 2022. More houses for sale compared to last year, but also compared to 2021 as well. Right now, there's approximately 8,800 houses for sale. Back in 2022, this time, there was 5,500. It's also worth noting here that housing inventory has been decreasing more or less every single week this year, which is entirely different compared to 2022, for example. We did see a slight decrease. Then we saw housing inventory more or less flat before skyrocketing once we hit the spring home buying season. But this year, inventory going straight down here, which is very similar to 2021, for example. But having said that, inventory levels right now are below 2020, whereas the first month this year, we more or less had the same number of houses compared to 2020. Now it's a little bit below that. Let's also have a look at new pending home sales, which is this right here in Las Vegas. So new pendings are down by 32.5%. Again, just like Sacramento, fewer contracts being signed between buyers and sellers over the past several years right now. Something else I found to be interesting here as well is that new pending home sales increased greatly more or less in February. And that's back when rates decreased to around 6%. On February 2nd, rates were at 6%. Now rates are around 7%. So as you can see right here, new pending home sales were increasing, but now they're starting to decrease, which is likely due to this surge in rates that we have been seeing over the past 30 days. And again, rates have increased approximately 1 percentage point over the past 30 days alone, going from 6% on average for people with exceptional credit to around 7% at the time of this video. All right, so that was new contracts being signed between buyers and sellers. Let's have a look at closed home sales, again, a lagging indicator. So closed home sales in Las Vegas are down by 34.2%, far below levels in 2020 through 2022. Closed home sales down by double digits. So because we're seeing this decrease of contracts being signed and also this decrease of closed home sales, I'm guessing the share of price reductions has been increasing as well. So in Las Vegas, the share of price drops is at approximately 46.5%, approximately 47% right now, which just like Sacramento has been decreasing ever since the winter months around December, but at 47%, this is still much higher compared to 1 year ago when the share was only 17%. In one single year, we went from a 17% share of price reductions all the way to now a 47% increase, or 47% share right now. Also, when you compare this to 2 years ago, the share was around 17%. 3 years ago, back in 2020, the share was 34%. Back in 2019, about 43%. And back in 2018, let's call it mid-March 2018, the share was 25%. So the share right now at approximately 47% is at least a 5-year high during that same time frame. I also want to share with you guys home prices in Las Vegas, Nevada, because according to Redfin here, the median sold price in Las Vegas is down by 7% compared to 12 months ago. At $393,000, again, $393,000. 1 year ago, the median sold price was approximately $421,000. And look at that. 1 year ago, home sold prices were up by 27% from 2021. Now they're down by 7%. Also, when comparing prices right now at $393,000, compare this to the peak last year at approximately $456,000. This means the median sold price in Las Vegas, Nevada is down by 14% from the highs of 2022. And again, compared to the national average, we're down by about 12% ever since May and June last year. Whereas in Las Vegas, as well as Sacramento, we're down by about 14%. Let's also have a look at days on the market, how fast or how slow houses are selling in the Las Vegas housing market. So the median days in the market in Las Vegas is at 77 days. This means it's taking 55 days longer to sell a house compared to 12 months ago. Therefore, it's taking nearly 2 months longer to sell a house compared to last year's levels. 77 days right now. Compare this to 2022 this time, days in the market was only 23 days. Also, when looking at pre-COVID levels back in 2020, days in the market was 61 days. So right now at 77 days, this is at least a 3-year high during that same time frame. I also want to share with you guys the average sale price to final list price ratio, which is right here. I almost couldn't find it. So the average sale price to final list price ratio is 97% in Las Vegas, meaning houses on average were selling for about 3% below the seller's final list price. Going back to 2022 at this time, houses on average were selling for just over the seller's asking price. And now again, they're selling for about 3% below asking on average. So what's your biggest takeaways from today's video? Also, if you guys got any value in this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I really appreciate that. And of course, appreciate you. Hope you guys have an awesome day and look forward to seeing you on the next video.